What up, Naughty Steppers? It's Connor Whitmore here again with another video for you on the Nawtystep channel. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about the new EP from Bandlez, released on Disciple Roundtable, Bass Buddiez. Here we have the latest collection of tracks from DeAndre Ruiz, aka Bandlez. Psych! Vishal Banderi is back in the frame, and Bandlez are a duo once again. The pair having spent just over a year apart as Mr. Banderi pursued computer science for a bit, which struck me as quite an interesting move at the time, considering the high that they seem to be on. Touring often and relatively fresh off the release of their EP The Heist for Firepower Records in August 2017, as well as some big singles from Rasta Pasta to Heavyweight, probably my favourite from them yet. In between other singles and remixes for the likes of Barely Alive and Phase 1, DeAndre released the first and only solo Bandlez EP Spy Kids last July. Full of genre variety across the 4 tracks, but undoubtedly lacking somewhat on the sharpness of the execution. And so going into Bass Buddiez, I wondered the extent to which that would change with Vishal now back in the fray. But I wouldn't say much has changed at all with this latest project, which isn't necessarily a problem. I think Bass Buddiez very much embellishes the staple Bandlez sound, that weighty, rounded, animated dubstep approach which makes up all 5 tracks here. But I must admit I find myself encountering similar problems with their music once more. When I talked about the Spy Kids EP lacking in sharpness, I meant mostly on the percussion front, and we get some of that here. Most notably in the drops of tracks 2, 3 and 5, Space Bubbles, Stupid and Low End Theory. In the first 2, there's definitely more of a snap needed to unleash the other sounds that we get. The frog-like effects in Space Bubbles are nice on the ear, but nothing about these drops is hitting me. Something to admire sonically, but not something to be moved by. It's neat, but I'm not wowed. Even through the progressions from drop to drop, the changing of tempo and note placement, the production is evidently thin. With Stupid, I would have to say that there are even fewer redeeming factors when it comes to the drops. The screeches at the forefront I find harsh on the ear, especially in their higher pitched form for the second drop. Yeah, they're just a bit too much for me. On Low End Theory, again, the percussion isn't that sharp, however, the clunkiness of it suits what's layered on top. The juicy, wavy main synths are lovely, an old school sound delivered in quite a fresh, modern way. The progressions are a bit more classic of them, but the original drops are very vibrant, putting me in a welcomed trance. However, reverting back to the idea of the production being a little threadbare, this is an issue across all aspects of the EP. Many moments here that just need more layering and building to flesh the whole sound out, where the lack of substance is clear. You get this most in the opener, Together Again, a VIP of DeAndre's original Together, and nod to them being a duo once more, which I must say is a lovely touch. But great ideas are let down by the lack of meat on the bone, for example the first progression or the midsection. A couple of my favourite sequences on the whole EP, but which would be truly fantastic if there was more going on. I mean, that's just one track, but it's a pervasive drawback with this EP and their style generally. Which is a bit of a shame really, because as I mentioned, there are some very good ideas here. The potential is strong. And on that note, on the positive side, Together Again is actually one of the cuts here, with notably good drop percussion. It's all about the snares, they are super snappy here, and it fully unleashes their bellowing dubstep delivery. Likewise in track 4, Weeble Wobble, I do feel the full force and weight of the percussion. Unfortunately though, the dubstep is pretty much a depressed, lowly version of their style. It does drag a bit. Having said that though, the way they change it up is really good. I love how the progression is quicker and stretches the track out. And the second drop displays a real sense of ownership in how it develops, even though it is probably too long. A reflection, I think, on the fact that even though I'm not big on most of their drop execution, their flows are good, and when it comes to the swing and momentum of their dubstep, there are few who do it better. Furthermore, regardless of how it comes across here, these are drops that I can imagine pretty much all sound very good live. But you do want that when listening to them normally, and I think with a little bit of work, they could reach that point of hugeness. The sampling, I would have to say, is pretty on point throughout, whether it's Skrillex and Leroy Jenkins in Together Again, or Low End Theory straight to your face in The Closer, but for me the most finely cut track in that department is Weeble Wobble. My favourite being that Wug 1 snippet, which is just so well done. Very good. Elsewhere on the EP, I'm really enjoying that they keep that beautiful melody from Together so sweet. Also, the bubblegum opening of that track is great, and again with the samples, the whole camaraderie thing is lovely. And also the openings to the final two tracks, chilled, laid back, slightly hazy, like a summer's walk. Overall though, whilst I am appreciating the consistency in style, approach and production technique here, I do feel like by this point we are used to it and need more substance, more sharpness in execution, and especially in light of Spy Kids' more genre experimentation, which Bass Buddiez does fall flat on. It's a definite emboldening of their general aesthetic. It's very clearly a Bandlez EP, but I wouldn't say I'm reminded of why I love that style on this project, the reasons for which I've already stated. I mean, in terms of length, it's a solid EP, but it doesn't actually feel like that much happens, which for me says it all. Whilst there is a lot to enjoy about the Bandlez aesthetic, and I am very excited for how it can strengthen going forward, I would still say that it's got a way to go to reach that potential in reflecting on this new collection of tunes. Now, in terms of my favourite on the EP, then I think I would have to go with Low End Theory. I'm enjoying the original drop sounds a fair bit. It's an uplifting and jovial way to round off the EP. And in terms of recommendations, if you enjoyed the EP, then I think their style is quite unique, so I would just go through their recent discography, maybe Dirt Monkey and Jansen at a push. And so there we have it, my thoughts on the new Bandlez EP, Bass Buddiez. What did you guys make of it? Do you have a favourite track from the 5? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, then be sure to give it a big old thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit the notification bell along the way, social media accounts in the description box down below. If you're looking for some other Disciple related videos on the channel, check out the link right here. And lastly, if it's naughty, then you know guys, so be sure, as always, to keep it naughty and stay safe. And I shall see all of you legends in the next one. Peace out.